What is going on, everyone? We are here for week 6 of the Ferrari GT3 Fixed Challenge Track Guide Series. This week we're at Laguna Seca, which is a pretty well-used track as it's free content and you do start your rookie career here quite regularly in the MX-5. So we're going to fire into this one pretty quickly. Lots of easy markers to spot. They use it as a driver training track, so actually putting the lap together won't be that hard once we pick up all the markers. Really appreciate everybody that's been tuning in each week and watching the videos, giving us a thumbs up, subscribing to the channel. It means a lot, guys. Hey, so let's kick off week 6 as we're halfway through this championship, and let's see where we can get to. All right, let's go, guys. Alright guys, so now we're going to break down the lap. So as you're coming up over the crest, you want to get as close to this white line as possible, then start to track out to the right hand side of the road. You're looking for the 3 board just here. This will be your brake marker. I use the white line so it's just slightly before the 3 board by a couple of feet, but just sort of to give myself a bit of a marker. I'm probably leaning more towards the 3 on a quality run, but more with a race run. I'm looking just a little bit further back just to give it a little bit more. So when you come down, I tend to try and get 2 wheels over the curve, over the concrete bit like this. Now it does upset the car a little tiny bit, and also you got to remember the car's going downhill here, so the braking zone is extended because you're actually carrying more force as you come down the hill as well. So as you come down, get nice and close on the concrete. Then once you get to nearly the 1 board, so just about here, I start to turn the car at the corner quite early. So I turn the car in. I wouldn't say I hit the apex. I probably get about a foot off the apex on the entry. So about this point here, and then as I start to roll the car in, I get to the 2nd tree. I let the car drift out slightly. And when I mean drift out, I mean like a car width. It's just enough to give the car rotation. I look for the house directly in front of us. Once I get to the house, I start turning back at the corner. You'll see as you turn back at the corner, you're going to get nice and close to this little red curb on the exit, in line with the bridge that you'll go under soon. And that's sort of the point where I pick the throttle up, carry all that speed out in 2nd gear, let the car track all the way to the edge of the road, and then start to run diagonal from this point here straight towards the 2 board. You'll get to 4th, then back to 3rd, brake at the 2 once you get there, back to 3rd, turn in at the 1 cone, get nice and close to the red sausage curb mid apex. That's your marker to hit, sort of in line with the Souvenir Sport Superstore, and then start to pick the throttle up nice and aggressive. The car's going to slide off the apex. You're going to run it right to the edge of the road. Get the car back on the track by the end of the curb. Get nice and close on the left-hand side of the road. As you get to the 2, start to brake. As you get to the 1, you start to turn the car in at the corner. Same again here. Get nice and close to the red sausage curb at the middle of the corner. Clip it just at the end of it. Carry that speed on the curb the whole way through the corner. Car's going to slide right out to the edge of the road. Up to 5th gear as you're coming along here. I put 2 tyres on the curb. I'm looking just past the 3 board, but between the 3 and the 2 there's the white line. That is your brake marker for this corner. The car does have quite a bit of understeer here as well. It's definitely like to do with the setup, but it also is because you're trying to get to the throttle so quick because you're going uphill as well. It just gives you that little bit of extra push. So 5th back to 3rd gear. Stay on the curb as you're braking. Wait till the 1 and then start to turn the car at the corner again. When you turn the car at the corner this time, you want to get it as close to this red curb as possible here. And then you want to try and follow the curb off the apex. So as you come off, you want to sort of wrap the car around the curb the whole way as much as possible to then carry the speed out. If you don't do that, you're going to end up with a little bit of understeer and probably end up in this sand over here. So clip the curb on the exit and then run up the hill. 3rd gear, up to 4th gear. Now as you're coming up here, you can either hold 4th and crack the limiter, or you can go to 5th and then back to 4th. I think 5th back to 4th is a little bit faster. There's more opportunity to overrun the entry of the corner, 5th back to 4th, but I feel like you actually do get a bit of a better drive up the hill instead of just letting it hit that limiter. And when I mean it hits the limiter, it's brief, but it's might be enough to slow down the momentum of the car a little bit. So I go 5th back to 4th. So I brake just past the 2. So it's probably about a car length past the 2. So about here. And then as I come in, 4th gear. As you turn in, you want to turn in early because the way the road cambers in and drops into the bowl and then sort of flattens out as you come out of it. So it's a pretty tricky corner. You want to get on the curb, I find, towards the end of the red curb. So you want to kind of get on the curb about this point here. You'll get a much straighter drive up the hill, but obviously it's not as easy as said as done sometimes. So then the car's going to slide right to the edge of the road. You want to use all that curb so you can carry that momentum up the hill. Up through the gears, I start to set myself up on the left-hand side. I use this curb to sort of get my car in line, and then I start to track towards the 3 board. I brake just before it at this white line. I just find that I'd rather brake a little bit earlier than later, especially as you come into the corkscrew, because it is, if you mess your line up or you mess your brake marker up in here, you're a passenger the whole way. So I brake just a little bit earlier. I focus on losing a little bit of entry to focus on the exit. So white line here, then I use the 2 tyres over the curb. But then once it comes to like this point here, so roughly about a car length or 2 before the 2 board, I start to diagonal the car at the corner. And then from this point here, once I get to the 1, it's like I'm already nearly at the apex. So then I just sacrifice a little bit of mid-corner to really focus on the exit here. So once I get to this point here, I sort of line up with that 3rd tree, so directly in front of us. And then as you come off of here, it drops back to the 2nd tree. And then from that point there, you'll clip the curb, you'll run the car around the corner, and you start to run it down the hill. As you're coming down the hill, there's a couple of different lines you can take. You can either take a wide entry approach, but I kind of like to keep it a little bit tighter here. So I sort of stay in the middle. And then as I'm coming down, I turn the car at the corner like pretty early, to be honest with you. So there's a little gap in the wall just here on the left-hand side, like where the 2 walls, sort of where you would park a safety vehicle. And that's where I start to turn at the corner from this sort of middle position here. And what I want to do is turn the car at the corner. The car's going to get it gets quite understeery through here. You want to get your tyres on the curb at this point here, and you sort of nearly want to be lining up with the end of the fence in your view. If you can do that, you'll get quite a good momentum run out of here. Use 2 tyres over the back of this curb here, and then start to run here. 4th gear, you are. I found that staying in 4th through here works better, but I'm braking a little bit early to get that drive through the corner. So at the 2 board, I brake. 4th gear, I turn in just before the 1, so probably like as the curbing ends and you got that white painted triangle bit that leads back to the white line, that would be where I'm starting to turn the car in. Because the road cambers in again, you want to make sure you get right down into this curb. Otherwise, if you're not in it, you're not going to have that groove, and you're going to sort of just always be uncomfortable and pushing wide and getting more understeer because you've missed that bowl that's actually helping the car rotate through the corner. So come through the curb, let the car come off there. It's going to use all the exit curb. Then you start to run yourself back towards the right-hand side. I'm braking just after the 2, so about this point here. Big brake pressure. 4th gear. Now you can use 1st or 2nd here. I definitely feel like 2nd is maybe a tiny little bit sluggish out of the corner, but I feel like it's a little bit easier to manage, where I feel like 1st gear, it's punchy, but I think you're going to blow the rear tyres off of it and put too much heat through them, and it's going to be a bit of a problem. So personally, I would use 2nd and rather use a bit more momentum rather than a big brake zone, get the car to rotate back and then stamp it out and sort of risk being on that throttle too much and burning them rear tyres up if you're still sliding out of the corner. So same again here, just before the end of the curb, I start to turn the car at the corner real early here. I want to get up over the red bit just a tiny bit, not the whole car, just nick it. It helps with rotation slightly. Then as you run the car off the corner, I'm putting 2 wheels over the grass, 2 wheels still on the racetrack or just clipping the curb, and that's where I'm at. And there you go, guys. That is your walkthrough track guide of the Ferrari 488 GT3 car at Laguna Seca for the Ferrari Challenge Fixed series this week. I hope this has helped you. Good luck for your week of racing, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.